Energy Storage Inverter Installation Guide. Split Phase Energy Storage Inverter, UL 5 to 11.4 kilowatts. Our energy storage inverter delivers excellent performance, maximizing electricity generation and increasing yields for users. When connected to a battery, the system efficiently stores excess PV energy and provides reliable backup power. A generator port is available for connecting to a generator or small loads. With network connectivity, the inverter enables real-time monitoring of the PV system status via the app, allowing seamless remote management of the power station. This video will walk you through the installation process, covering the following steps: installation preparation, inverter installation, electrical connection, battery connection, communication connection, initial startup and commissioning. Unpack the inverter and take it out of the box. First, inspect the inverter's appearance and connectors. On the bottom side, you will find 2 AC ports for connection to the grid, backup load, generator, and ground cable. Communication connection ports for CT, BMS, RSD, PARAL, and other communication wires. Communication port for GPRS, Wi-Fi, LAN. 2 PV connection ports for PV string inputs. Battery connection port for battery cables. On both sides of the inverter, you will find handle area, locks, PV switch, on-off button. At the same time, use the packing list to check the accessories. Mounting bracket, 4 pairs of M6 expansion screws for installing the mounting bracket on walls. M6 security screw for theft prevention. Key for locking the wire box. CT, an RJ45 cable with 2 CTs, Wi-Fi module, 3 pieces of 4-pin terminals, 1 piece of 9-pin terminal, AC toroid for grid L1, L2 N cables, DC toroid for battery cables, and a file package. In addition, the following tools are required for installation: drill, hammer, adjustable wrench, socket wrench, wire stripper, crimping pliers, hydraulic pliers, knife, slotted screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, hex wrench, multimeter. Based on your project's specific needs, please ensure you have the appropriately sized electrical metallic tubing connectors, cables, and OT terminals ready. To ensure long service life, the inverter must not be exposed to direct solar irradiation, rain, or snow. It is recommended that the inverter be mounted in a sheltered place. Besides, mount the inverter vertically or tilted backward by maximum 15 degrees. The device cannot be installed with a wrong mode, and the connection area must point downward. Before mounting the inverter, unlock the wire box and remove the screws and cover. Take out the mounting bracket and install it on a suitable support. Install the inverter onto the mounting bracket and then secure it by tightening the security screw on the right side. Install the electrical metallic tubing connectors. Check the inverter AC terminal. A PE terminal is equipped inside of the inverter's wire box. Strip the insulation layer from the ground cables and AC cables. Thread the wires into each port. Remove the screws from the terminals that will be used. It is recommended to install the grounding cables first. Note: when connecting the L1, L2 N cables to the grid terminals, Ensure that an AC toroid is threaded through these cables. Install them on the corresponding terminals and tighten the screws to 35 pounds per inch. Check the inverter PV terminals. Open the switches for the terminals that will be used. Strip the insulation layer from the PV cable. Check the polarity of strings and ensure that the voltages are within the normal range. Thread the wires into the wire box through the PV connection ports. Then install them on the terminals and close the switches. Check the inverter battery terminals. Use a socket wrench to remove the bolts. Strip the insulation layer from the battery cables. Our inverter supports a maximum charge-discharge current of 210 amperes. We recommend using 3/0 AWG cables for the battery connection, with OT terminals specified as OT78. Use hydraulic pliers to crimp the cables into OT terminals and insulate them properly with heat shrink tube. Check the polarity to ensure correctness. Thread the well-crimped wires into wire box through the battery connection port. Insert them into the corresponding terminal and tighten securely to 20 Newton meters. Check the inverter communication port. Refer to the definitions of the 4-pin, 9-pin terminals and wire them according to your actual needs. Thread the CT, BMS, and other communication wires through the communication port. Insert each connector into the correct terminal. Secure the CTs on the L1, L2 grid side in the correct order, ensuring the arrow points from the grid towards the inverter. Check the inverter's Wi-Fi communication port. Take the Wi-Fi module out of the package. Remove the cover plate from the Wi-Fi port, then plug in the Wi-Fi module and tighten the screws. Make sure that the connections of the PV, battery, and AC are correct, and that the system has been well grounded. Reinstall the cover and tighten the screws. Turn on the battery and AC switches on the inverter. Next, power on the PV switch, the DC breaker on the battery side, and the AC breaker on the grid side. Note, the inverter must be powered on via the app during the first time startup. Download Solar Hope from Google Play or App Store. Open the app and click Bluetooth for local connection. Scan the inverter's serial number barcode and connect to the inverter. On the app's homepage, you can view an overview of the system status. Slide down to check the real-time parameters of each component. Go to the Quick Setup menu to confirm the regulation settings. Export power control settings and working mode settings. Once everything is set, power on the inverter. Note, the inverter must be powered on via the app during the first time startup. Power on the AC breaker on the backup side, then secure the wire box.